Did you know that the very fruit you eat every day can silently harm your heart? You've spent years doing the right thing. You choose a banana over a donut, you snack on raisins instead of chips, and you start your morning with a glass of what you believe is heart-healthy juice. You've listened to the advice, you've made the sacrifices, and you feel you are on the right path to a long, healthy life. But what if I told you that some of these healthy choices are creating a dangerous imbalance inside your aging body? What if the same fruits praised for their vitamins and antioxidants are quietly disrupting your medications, overwhelming your kidneys, and straining the very heart you're trying to protect? This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. As we age, our bodies change in ways that most health advice fails to mention. Our kidneys filter more slowly, our liver processes nutrients differently, and our heart becomes more sensitive to sudden shifts. What was beneficial at 40 can become a hidden hazard at 70. These changes aren't a sign of failure. They are a call for a new kind of wisdom. Too many seniors experience unexplained fatigue, sudden dizziness, or worsening heart symptoms, and they blame it on age. They never suspect that the wholesome fruit in their kitchen could be part of the problem. So today, we're not just going to list bad fruits. Instead, we are going to uncover 5 common healthy fruits that, when misunderstood, can secretly sabotage your health. We will explore why they pose a risk, and more importantly, what you can do to bring your body back into balance. This is about giving your body the respect it deserves and making choices that truly nourish you. Before we begin, I'd love for you to engage with our community here at Wisdom Free. Take a moment to share in the comments one fruit you eat almost every day for your health. There's no judgment here, only a chance to learn from each other. And if you believe in gaining wisdom to live a fuller life, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss these vital conversations. Now let's look at the first fruit on our list, a symbol of a healthy breakfast that could be turning your medications into a hidden danger. For decades, we've been told that grapefruit is a powerhouse of vitamin C, a refreshing, low-calorie way to start the day. It feels clean, it feels virtuous, and for many, it's a morning ritual. You might enjoy a half grapefruit with your breakfast, believing you are boosting your immune system and supporting your heart. But what if that seemingly innocent fruit is creating a biochemical traffic jam inside your liver, causing the medications you rely on to build up to toxic levels? The danger of grapefruit isn't in the fruit itself, but in its powerful interaction with the aging body's ability to process medicine. This is especially true if you are taking common medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or an irregular heartbeat. Here's what is happening beneath the surface. Your liver contains a critical enzyme known as CYP3A4, which acts like a cleanup crew, breaking down and clearing out a huge percentage of prescription drugs. Grapefruit, however, contains natural compounds that shut this enzyme down. It's like padlocking the exit door while more and more of your medication keeps entering the room. Instead of being processed and used correctly, the drug accumulates in your bloodstream. At first, the effects are subtle. You might feel a bit more tired than usual. Perhaps you experience unexplained muscle aches or a new sense of dizziness when you stand up. You chalk it up to a poor night's sleep, or just another sign of getting older. You would never suspect it's the healthy grapefruit you had for breakfast. I remember a gentleman named Arthur, a retired teacher who was so proud of his health regimen. He walked every morning, took his statin for cholesterol, and started every single day with a large glass of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. He told me it made him feel clean, yet he was suffering from debilitating muscle cramps and profound fatigue. His doctor couldn't find the cause, but the answer was right on his breakfast table. The grapefruit juice was amplifying his statin to a dangerous level, essentially poisoning his muscles. Once we identified the issue and removed grapefruit from his diet, his symptoms vanished within weeks. He was shocked. "I thought I was helping my heart," he said. "I had no idea I was fighting my own medicine." This isn't about blaming the fruit. It's about understanding that after 60, your body's margin for error is smaller. Your liver doesn't bounce back as quickly. If you are on any prescription medication, especially for your heart, you must ask your doctor or pharmacist about grapefruit. So before you slice into that beautiful, tangy fruit tomorrow morning, ask yourself, is this food truly working in harmony with my body? Or could it be silently undermining the very medicine meant to keep me safe? Now, if a fruit as common as grapefruit can pose such a risk, what about one that's praised for its heart-healthy minerals? The next fruit on our list is a household staple, yet for many seniors, it's a paradox that could quietly push their heart into a dangerous rhythm. What could be safer than a banana? It's soft, easy to digest, and famously packed with potassium, a mineral doctors often recommend for controlling blood pressure. For many seniors, a banana a day is not just a habit. It feels like a prescription for good health. But here is the paradox that most people are never warned about. As your kidneys age, the very potassium that is meant to help your heart can become a silent threat, especially if you take certain blood pressure medications like ACE inhibitors or ARBs. What if that daily banana or two is slowly overwhelming your body's delicate electrical system? Here's the hidden truth. After the age of 60, your kidney function naturally begins to decline. This is a normal part of aging. Your kidneys become less efficient at filtering out excess minerals from your blood, including potassium. Now, add a medication that also causes your body to retain potassium. Suddenly, your system, which was once in balance, is at risk of being overloaded. This condition, called hyperkalemia, doesn't feel like a disease at first. There's no pain. But deep inside, the high levels of potassium can interfere with the electrical signals that keep your heart beating steadily. You might feel an occasional flutter, a sense of weakness in your legs, or a sudden wave of dizziness. Too often, these signs are dismissed as just part of getting old, until one day, that imbalance triggers a serious cardiac event. Think about a woman named Eleanor I once spoke with, a sweet 78-year-old grandmother who, after a checkup, was told her potassium was a little low. Her doctor casually said, "Eat a few more bananas." Taking the advice to heart, she started eating 2 or 3 a day. But her doctor didn't realize she was also on a medication that made her retain potassium. The combination was a ticking time bomb. She ended up in the emergency room with a dangerously irregular heartbeat, all because she was diligently following what she thought was sound medical advice. Her story isn't about blaming bananas or doctors. It's about the critical need for a holistic view. Your body is not a collection of separate parts. It's an interconnected system. What you eat directly impacts your medications, and your aging kidneys are the gatekeepers of that balance. The solution isn't to fear potassium, it's to respect it. If you have any kidney issues or take medication for your heart or blood pressure, it's vital to have your potassium levels checked regularly, and remember, moderation is key. A banana a few times a week is very different from 2 or 3 every single day. So before you peel that next banana out of habit, pause and ask yourself, am I nourishing my body with what it needs, or could I be unintentionally overloading a system that has become more fragile with time? From an electrolyte imbalance, let's turn to another hidden danger: concentrated sugar. The next category of fruit is often seen as a healthy snack, but it could be flooding your body with more sugar than a slice of cake. For anyone trying to avoid processed sweets, dried fruit seems like the perfect solution. A handful of raisins, a few chewy apricots, or some dates feel natural and wholesome. They are easy to pack, easy to chew, and satisfy a sweet tooth without the guilt of unwrapping a candy bar. They wear a halo of health. But what if that healthy snack is actually a metabolic trap, secretly spiking your blood sugar, inflaming your arteries, and contributing to the very heart problems you are trying to prevent? Here's the dangerous truth about dried fruit. When you remove the water, you create a hyper-concentrated source of sugar. A small box of raisins contains the sugar of a whole bunch of grapes, but without the water and volume that would normally make you feel full. Because the fiber is still there, but the water is gone, it's incredibly easy to eat far more sugar than you realize. This blast of fructose hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave. For an aging body, whose ability to manage sugar is already declining, this is a serious problem. It triggers a huge insulin spike, and over time, this leads to insulin resistance, higher triglyceride levels, and chronic inflammation, all of which are silent drivers of heart disease. The symptoms are often subtle and insidious. You might feel a profound sense of fatigue an hour or two after your healthy snack. You might notice your cravings for sweets are getting stronger, not weaker. You might see the number on the scale creeping up, even though you've given up junk food. These are not just signs of aging, they are signals from your body that it is being overloaded. I remember a man named Sam, a retired postal worker who was determined to get his health in order. He gave up cookies, cake, and ice cream. Instead, he kept a large bag of trail mix, full of raisins, dried cranberries, and dates in his truck to snack on throughout the day. He thought he was doing something wonderful for his body, but his blood tests told a different story. His triglycerides were through the roof, and his A1C level had quietly slipped into the diabetic range. He was stunned. "But it's just fruit," he said. "It's natural." What he didn't understand was that sugar is sugar, whether it comes from a factory or a vine. And in its concentrated, dried form, it was silently inflaming his arteries and straining his heart. The solution is not to ban all fruit. It's to prioritize whole, fresh fruit in its natural state, the form that nature intended. An apple with its skin on provides fiber and water to slow down sugar absorption. A bowl of raisins provides a sugar rush. If you do enjoy dried fruit, treat it as a garnish, not a snack. A few raisins sprinkled on oatmeal is very different from a whole handful. Before you reach for that bag of dried apricots, ask yourself this question: am I eating a whole food in its natural, balanced form? Or am I eating a highly concentrated version that has lost the very properties that make it healthy? And if dried sugar is this problematic, what about drinking it? The next item on our list is perhaps the most deceptive of all, sitting in refrigerators across the country under the guise of 100% purity. There is something so reassuring about a carton of juice that says 100% pure, not from concentrate, or heart healthy. For generations, we've been taught that a glass of orange juice is a healthy start to the day. It seems so much better than soda or other sugary drinks. But what if that morning glass of juice is one of the most effective ways to flood your body with liquid sugar, doing more to destabilize your blood sugar and inflame your arteries than you could ever imagine? The problem with juice is simple. It's fruit with its soul removed. The single most important component for slowing down sugar absorption, the fiber, has been stripped away. What you are left with is essentially sugar water with some vitamins. A 12-ounce glass of orange juice can contain nearly as much sugar as a can of soda. Grape juice often contains more. Your body doesn't care that the sugar came from an orange. When it hits your system in liquid form, without any fiber to slow it down, your pancreas is forced to work overtime, pumping out insulin to manage the sudden flood. For an aging metabolism, this is an incredible strain. It contributes to insulin resistance, promotes the storage of fat in the liver, and fuels the low-grade inflammation that stiffens arteries. Think about the feeling of an energy crash mid-morning, or that mental fog that sets in after breakfast. These aren't just random occurrences. They can be the direct result of the blood sugar roller coaster initiated by that healthy glass of juice. Consider the case of a retired school principal, Darlene, who was carefully managing pre-diabetes. She cut out all desserts and sodas and proudly told me she had switched to drinking cranberry and apple juice throughout the day to stay hydrated and get her vitamins. She couldn't understand why her fasting glucose numbers kept climbing and her blood pressure was becoming erratic. She was drinking the sugar of 5 or 6 apples in a single glass, multiple times a day. She believed she was making a healthy choice, but she was unwittingly sabotaging her health. Once we replaced the juice with water infused with lemon and encouraged her to eat a small whole apple instead, her numbers stabilized and her energy returned. She was heartbroken to realize the truth. The label said it was healthy, she lamented. I feel so fooled. And that is the core of the issue. We are told a story about health that serves the food industry, not our bodies. The solution is simple. Eat your fruit, don't drink it. The fiber, the skin, and the pulp are not obstacles. They are essential parts of the nutrient package. So, the next time you're about to pour a glass of juice, ask yourself, would I sit down and eat 6 oranges in one sitting? Because if the answer is no, why would I drink them? Finally, let's talk about the most surprising danger of all, the risk of doing too much of a good thing. After a health scare or a new diagnosis, it's natural to want to take control. Many seniors, with the best of intentions, overhaul their diets completely. They read about superfoods and start eating large quantities of them every single day. Big kale salads, multiple bananas, bowls of spinach, and plates full of beets. They believe that if a little is good, then more must be better. But what if this all-in approach is creating the very imbalances you're trying to fix? What if you can, in fact, love your heart too much, overwhelming it with an excess of even the healthiest foods? The aging body thrives on balance and consistency, not intensity. When you eat large amounts of the same high-potassium fruits, like bananas, oranges, and even avocados day after day, you risk hyperkalemia, especially if you're on certain medications. When you consume huge quantities of vitamin K-rich vegetables like spinach and kale, you can interfere with blood thinners, putting you at risk for clots. Even the natural sugars in large fruit platters full of grapes, melon, and cherries can add up, elevating blood sugar and contributing to inflammation over time. The problem isn't the food, it's the dose. I once worked with a gentleman named Frank, a retired musician, who after a minor heart attack became a self-proclaimed plant-based warrior. His diet was impeccable on paper. No processed foods, no red meat, just huge servings of what he called God's medicine. But he felt worse than ever. He was exhausted, his muscles ached, and his lab work showed borderline kidney strain and dangerously high potassium. He was heartbroken. "I'm doing everything right," he said. "Why am I not getting better?" The reason was simple. His body couldn't handle the sheer volume. He was overloading his system with more minerals and compounds than his aging kidneys and finely tuned medications could manage. He was trying to heal his heart with force, when what it really needed was gentleness. We worked together to build a plan based on variety and moderation. Instead of a huge kale salad every day, we rotated it with other greens. Instead of 3 bananas, he had 1 every other day. We introduced a wider variety of colors and types of vegetables in smaller, more manageable portions. Within a month, his energy returned and his labs normalized. The lesson here is profound. After 60, wisdom is more important than willpower. The solution is not to eat more, it's to eat more wisely. Rotate your foods. Don't fall into the trap of eating the same superfood every single day. Listen to the subtle signals your body sends you: fatigue, bloating, weakness, and see them not as failures, but as feedback. Before you pile your plate high with a single healthy food, ask yourself, am I nourishing my body with gentle consistency, or am I overwhelming it with intensity? For many seniors, taking care of their health is an act of love, for themselves and for the people who depend on them. But as we've seen, even the best intentions can lead us astray if we are not equipped with the right knowledge. The problem is not fruit. The problem is the way we have been taught to think about food, in simple terms of good and bad. The truth is far more nuanced. The human body, especially after 60, craves balance above all else. So, what should you do? The path forward is built on 3 simple principles. First, prioritize awareness over assumption. Don't assume a food is safe just because it's natural. Talk to your doctor about how your diet interacts with your medications. Get your key levels, like potassium and vitamin D, checked periodically. Second, choose whole foods over processed forms. Eat the apple, don't drink the juice. Choose fresh berries over a handful of dried ones. Your body knows how to handle nutrients when they come packaged in fiber and water, as nature intended. Finally, embrace moderation and variety over excess. The key to long-term health is not to find one magic superfood and eat it constantly. It's to eat a wide rainbow of foods in sensible portions. A little of everything is far better than too much of one thing. This journey isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's about trading outdated advice for a new kind of wisdom that honors the incredible journey your body has taken. You have the power to make choices that will truly support your strength, your energy, and your independence for years to come. These lessons from our wisdom-free community are meant to help you live more fully and authentically. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share in the comments one thing you've learned today that you plan to apply in your own life. Your insights could inspire someone else on this journey. If you found value in this video, please support our channel by commenting with the number 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your honest feedback is what helps us grow. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that empowers you to live life on your own terms. Here's to your health, and here's to your wisdom.